what is the discussion happened in the last session? In the last session, we are trying to understand the difference between the weight and weight PID. Will you agree? In the last session, we are trying to understand the difference between the weight and PID. Few points we observed in the last session. Whatever the things we can do using the weight, can I say, we can do using the weight PID. But some of the extra things we can do using the weight PID, which I cannot do using the weight. Such as, in a weight PID, we can make the parent to wait for particular child. Weight PID we can use to make the parent to wait for particular child. Now tell me, if the first argument if I write -1, it will wait for, if the first argument if I write -1, it will wait for, if the first argument if I write -1, it will wait for any one of its child to terminate. Now here we used some options here. Depends upon that option, the behavior of the weight PID gets changed. Basically, wait is used to wait for child termination. Using the PID, we can make the parent to wait even though child is terminated, suspended, or suspended child get resumed also, we can use that. And wait, whatever the argument we are passing, the same argument we need to pass it here. If you pass 0 here, can I say it is not interested to collect the status? If you pass 0 there, will you agree it is not interested to collect the status? Such type of discussion happened. After that, yesterday, just introduction to EXEC functions we discussed, we started. All the EXEC family of functions are useful for replacing the current process image with a new process image. What is the meaning of that? We'll discuss again. Suppose in my program, if I call system function, can I say when I compile this program, when I load this program into the RAM, it becomes one process. When I compile this program, when I load this program into the RAM, can I say it becomes one process? Suppose this is my program. After compiling this program, when I load this program into the RAM, it becomes one process. Please tell me yes or no. It becomes one process. So suppose the process ID is Y. Suppose the process ID is Y. What is this process contains? Can I say it contains the stack section, it contains the heap section, it contains the data section and code section. So in this process, we are calling the system function. Can you tell me, in this process, when we call the system function, can I say two more processes are created? One is SH and another one is LS. Can I say this SH is also having a stack section, SH is also having the heap section, data section and code section, and this LS is also having stack section, heap section, data section and the code section. Now can you tell me, in this how many commands are executed? Can you tell me, in this program, in this situation, how many commands we are executing? How many commands we are executing? One command. What is the name of the command? In this, we are trying to execute only one command. What is the name of the command? LS. But how many processes involvement is there? Can you tell me how many processes involvement is there? Answer is 3 processes. three processes involvement is there. What are those three? Answer is three processes involvement is there. What are those three? Can I say our ADAT-out process, SH process, LS process? Again, one command, three processes involvement here. Will you agree? One command, three processes involvement here. Will you agree? But instead of system, if suppose in my process, if I use exec family of function to execute one command, after compiling this program, when I load this program into the RAM, it becomes one process, process Y. Now tell me, in this whatever the command you are executing, that command is pasted on the top of this Y. Again, whenever we use exec family of we use exec family of functions, without creating the new process, on the top of the old process, new process image is pasted. Again, without creating the new process, on the top of the old process, new process image is pasted. Again, without creating the new process, on the top of the old process means what is the name of the old process here? Y. On the top of the Y only, ls command image is pasted. But whereas system, three more processes are created. Now tell me, here in this scenario, how many commands are executed and how many processes involvement is here? Can you tell me, in this, how many commands is executed, how many processes involvement here? Can I say one command and one process? Will you agree? In this case, one command and one process. One command and one process. So previously, one command, three processes. Now tell me, which one is the better? exe is the better or system is the better? Can I say exec is the better? But one problem is, after the exec, whatever the statements you written, printf hello, is this printf statement executes or not? One problem is, after the exec, whatever the statements we written, the statements will execute or not? Answer is no, because the new image is pasted on the top of this old. The old executable file is overwritten with a new executable file. Old process stack section, data section, code section, heap section is replaced with a new ls process stack section, data section, code section, heap section. But whereas in this case, after the system, if I write printf hello, is that hello is going to execute or not? After the system, if I use printf hello, is that hello is going to be printed or not? Answer is yes, it is going to be printed. Answer is yes, it is going to be printed. Is that point is clear? Is that point is clear? So how to use the exec functions, all the things we'll discuss it. How to use the exec functions, all the things we'll discuss it. Again, the exec family of functions replaces the current process image with a new process image. exec family of functions replaces the current process image with a new process image. They are responsible to run the new process with the same existing PID. All of you are getting the point? They are responsible to run a new process with the same existing PID. they are responsible to print the new process, execute the new process under the old process. Now observe some of the functions, exec functions here: execl, execlp, execv, execvp. Again, execl, execlp, execv, and execvp. Will you agree? The first two functions are variable argument list functions. Again, the first two functions, execl and execlp, those are variable argument list functions. Again, execl and execlp, those are variable argument list functions. Can you tell me, in these two functions, minimum how many arguments we need to pass? In these two functions, minimum how many arguments we need to pass? Will you agree? Minimum 2 arguments. Minimum 2 arguments we need to pass. First argument is const char star path name. Second argument is const char star arg. So for these two functions, minimum we need to pass 2 fixed arguments. Minimum we need to pass 2 fixed arguments, and whereas remaining arguments are, will you agree, a variable. Remaining arguments are variable. Can you tell me, for execv and execvp, these are the fixed argument functions. What is the second argument we need to pass? Can you guess what is the second argument we need to pass to this execv and execvp? What is the second argument we need to pass so that it is catching with star and index? Second argument we need to pass array of pointers base address. Again, second argument we need to pass array of pointers base address. So how to use this? We'll discuss it one by one. How to use these functions? We'll discuss it one by one. Now tell me, in between execl and execlp, what is the difference you are observing? Can you tell me? In between execl and execlp, what is the difference you are observing? What is the difference you are observing? First argument, path name, file name. First argument, path name and file name. So I'll show you how to use this execl and execlp. How to use execl and execlp, I'll show you. Header.h, void main, printf hello, execl /bin /ls comma ls. What is the indication that arguments are completed? In this variable argument list function, what is the indication that the arguments are completed? What is the indication we need to provide that the arguments are completed? Will you agree? We need to pass null at the end. I don't know, you remembered or not. There are two ways you can design a variable argument list function. In a C language, I discussed, there are two ways you can design a variable argument list function. In a first way, we need to pass one fixed argument which will indicate number of variable arguments. Again, there are two ways variable argument list functions are designed. One is one fixed argument we need to pass to indicate number of variable arguments. Second is we need to pass null at the end. Second is we need to pass null at the end to indicate the arguments are completed. Second is we need to pass null at the end to indicate the arguments are completed. So now this is the second category. This is the second category, means we need to pass null at the end. First argument is we need to provide the path including the name of the command. Observe very carefully. All of you noted down this. First argument is we need to provide path including name of executable. First argument, we need to pass the path including executable. Will you agree? Most of the commands are present in bin directory. I don't know you remembered or not. Most of the commands are present in a bin directory. So first argument is we need to supply the path including the name of the executable. Second argument is what? Second argument is name of the command. Name of the command. Second argument is name of the command. Third argument is, third argument onwards, any options we need to supply for that command. Third argument is any third argument onwards, any options we need to supply to that command. Options means, I don't know, when you type ls, simply it will display the list of files. When you type ls-l, it will display the long list. Like this, so many options are there for every command. Like if you type ps, can you tell me what happens? If you type ps, what happens? It will display the list of processes which are working in a current terminal. When you type ps-e, can you tell me? When you type ps-e, entire terminals, how many processes are running, it will show. When you type ps-e-l, when you type ps-e and -l, will you agree it is a long list it will show? So if any options are there to that command which you want to execute using the exec, again, if any options are there to that command to execute using the exec, that options you need to provide in a double code. Everything is a string, and at last, what we need to supply? At last, what we need to supply? At last, what we need to supply? Null. We need to supply the null there. Is that is clear? So I'm explaining about how to use execl. The first argument to the execl is we need to provide path including the name of executable. Second argument is name of the executable. Executable is nothing but a command. Every command is one executable file. Will you agree? Every command is one executable file. Will you accept this statement? Every command is one executable file. Will you agree this statement? Yes. So second argument is the name of the command. Third argument onwards, you need to supply the options. Third argument onwards, you need to supply the options. If multiple options are there, multiple strings you need to pass, and you need to pass null at the end. Is all of you copied these arguments? Type C in the chat box so that I can erase this data. If all of you copied this information, type C in the chat box so that I can erase the data, I can delete the data. Okay. Now observe, after this, if I write printf high statement, yes, null at the end indicates that options are completed. Third argument onwards, options you need to supply, like ls hyphen l hyphen I. There are some multiple options are there. If you want, you can supply that. Additional information purpose. I'll show you here. When I type ls, this is the information. When I type ls hyphen l, can I say long list additional informations? ls hyphen l, ls hyphen l hyphen I. See, one inode number. What is that inode number? Don't worry. Once we started with the file handling, we'll discuss it. So these are called as options to that command. These are called as options to this command. BE9S7, getting the point? Those are called as options to that command. So in this also we need to pass that. Now observe. I compiled this code. I executed this code. Now can you tell me here how many processes involvement will be there to execute ls command? Now here, how many processes involvement will be there to execute ls command? Can I say only one process? Will you agree? There is only one process. On the top of this a dot out only, on the top of this a dot out only, on the top of this a dot out only, that command image is pasted. That is the reason high statement is not printing here. That is the reason high statement is not printing here. No. What about the exec? Just a minute. What about the exec lp? In a exec lp, will you agree? We no need to supply the path name. Just we need to supply the file name. We no need to worry about the path. Again, in a exec lp, we no need to supply the path. Just file name. Now, one interesting point I need to again, why high statement is not printed? One of the student question is why the high statement is not printed? Can I say on this image only, on this executable file only, ls executable file is pasted. On this executable file, ls executable file is replaced. That is the reason after the exec, whatever the statements you written, those statements will not execute. K2, getting the point? After the exec, whatever the statements you written, those statements will not execute. Why? Because on the top of this a dot out, this ls image is pasted. Can you tell me in which scenario this is printed? Can you tell me in which scenario this is printed? if exec gets failed, suppose the exec gets failed, then this statement is executed. Suppose the exec gets failed, then this high statement is printed, because new image is not pasted there. Because the new image is not pasted there. Okay. Now I need to ask you one question. What I am typing here, what is the name of the command? What is the name of the command I typed here? Can I say ls? Now observe here, who is taking this command? Who is taking this command? Bash. Now here, can you tell me, am I supplied only command or including the path I supplied it? Am I supplied only the name of the command or including the path I supplied it? Can I say including the path? Huh? Now observe cal. I don't know you know it or not. Cal. It is a calendar. Now when I write /bin/cal, tell me what is the bash is saying here. When I simply type cal, I got an output. When I type /bin/cal, I didn't get an output. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Can I say cal command is not present in the /bin directory? Can I say cal command is not present in the /bin directory? Now when cal command is not present in the /bin directory, then where the cal command is there? If cal command is not present in the bin directory, then where the bash is searching that cal command? Now, will you agree? Will you agree? Whatever the command we supply here, who is taking that command? Whatever the command we supply here, who is taking that command? Bash. After taking that command, what the bash will do? After taking that command, what the bash will do? After taking that command, what the bash will do? It will create a child process. Again, after taking this command, what the bash will do? Bash will create a child process. In this child process, it will call exec function, so that this cal command image is pasted in this child process. Again, try to understand what the bash will do inside. Bash is an application or is it a service? Try to recollect the beginning of the process management. Bash is an application or bash is a service? Can I say it is an application? So what the bash will do? Can I say bash will wait for the command from the user? Again, bash will wait for the command from the user. After taking the command, what the bash will do? After taking the command from the user, what the bash will do? Bash will create a child process. After creating the child process, what the bash will do? After creating the child process, what the bash will do? In that child process, it will call exec function. Again, after creating the child process, bash will call exec in that child. Is that point is clear? Bash will call exec in that child process. All of you are getting this point? So now I am supplying here only the name of the command to the bash, but here including the path I am supplying it. Again, here we are supplying only the name of the command, but here we are supplying the path. One thing I need to tell you, whenever you supply the command with path, where it will search? Whenever you supply a command with path, where it will search? Answer is in that path only. Answer is in that path only. Now the question is, if you supply the command without a path, where the bash will search? Again, if I supply the command without a path, where the bash will search? Again, if I supply the command without a path, where the bash will search that command? Answer is there is one variable called environmental variable. Now we need to discuss about something called environmental variables. What is the discussion? I'll write the question here. If we supply command with path where bash will search, answer is in that path. Answer is in that path. Question is, if we supply the command where, so for this, to understand this, it is a present working directory. To understand this, I need to discuss one concept called shell variables, or I need to discuss one concept called environmental variables. Now, what is a variable holds? Can you tell me, as a C programmer, you need to answer it. What is a variable holds? Some data. Now, can you tell me, if I write int n is a variable. It is holding what? It is going to hold what? Integer. If I write char ch is a variable. It is going to hold what? One character. So I'm going to talk about shell variables. Will you agree shell is an application? Will you agree shell is an application? Application means a program. Program means shell is an application. Application means a program. Program means which will perform one task. So if it is a program, will you agree you might have declared so many variables to hold the data? If it is a program, will you agree there may be so many variables declared to hold the data? So in that shell variables, one of the variable called path. All of you are observing? In that one of the variable called path. So whenever you supply the, what is that echo? This is shell scripting related keyword. Echo is nothing but one shell scripting related keyword. Like in a C language, printf is there. to print the data. In a C++, C out is there. Similarly, in a scripting language, echo. And dollar is nothing but a value at that variable, the content at that variable. So what is the discussion is, whenever you supply the command without a path, bash will search in these many paths. Again, whenever you supply the command without a path, bash will search these many paths. This is not a file, this is a variable. K5. Path is not a file, it is, we can say, one variable. That is a shell variable. That is a environmental variables. If you want to type all the variables, BE8, K5, getting the point? If you want to print all the variables, env, simply type env, you will get all the environmental variables. If you simply type env, you will get all the environmental variables. Unless you're observing, all the environmental variables are in a capital letter. All the environmental variables before is equals to whatever it is there, that is the environmental variables. All these environmental variables are in a capital. Every variable has its own importance. We're not going to discuss all these variables. Our aim is only one variable in this. What is that? What is the name of the variable? We are worried about only one variable. What is the name of the variable? PATH. We are worried about only one variable, that is a PATH, path. What is this path holds? It holds multiple paths. So whenever you supply the command without a path, bash will search in these paths. Whenever you supply the command without a path, then bash will search in these many paths. Whenever you supply the command without a path, then bash will search the command in these many paths. I'll show you. /usr /local /sbin /cal. Can I say cal is not present in this path? Next, /usr /local /bin /cal. Cal is also not present in this path. Next, usr /sbin /cal. Can I say cal is not present in this path also? Cal is not present in that path also. /usr /bin /cal. Now tell me, where is the cal command is present? Can you tell me where is the cal command is present? Where is the cal command is present? Will you agree? In a USR bin directory. Again, the cal command is present in USR bin directory. The cal command is present in USR bin directory. It is not present only simply slash directory. It is not present simply in a /bin directory. Now can you tell me, all these commands are separated with what? Will you observe and tell me all these commands are separated with what? Separated with a colon. S10, try to understand, all these commands are separated with a colon. So now we need to understand what is the difference between the execl and execlp. If you know the path where the command is there, use this execl. Again, if you know where the command is there, in which directory the command is there, then use execl. If you don't know where it is there, can you tell me? If you don't know where it is there, if you don't know where it is there, use exec. If you don't know where it is there, use exec lp. Getting the point? Again, where is the command? If you know, use execl. If you don't know where the command is there, then use execlp. Any doubt in this execl and execlp? Any doubt in this execl and execlp? One example for execlp, is it D3? Is it? One example for execlp. Observe. Suppose I don't know where is the ls command is there. Suppose I don't know where is the ls command is there. So execlp, first is the ls, second is also again ls, -l and null. Suppose if I don't know where is the ls is there. So execlp, ls, second is also same. Second argument onwards the same as here. 2 times you need to provide here. That's how the function is designed. Getting the point? D3. So if you know where is the command is there, in which path, better use execl. If you don't know, execlp. Getting the point? The same output. Now observe, if I write execl /bin/cal and null, tell me, execl /bin/cal see hello is printed, hi is printed. Can you tell me why hi is printed here? Can you tell me why hi is printed? Because this execl is unable to replace the new image on the top of the old image. On the top of this a.out, it is unable to place cal command. On the top of this a.out, it is unable to put cal command. Why? Can you tell me? Here I supplied the path with a wrong. All of you are getting this point? Type 1 in the chat box. Here hi statement is printed. Why? Because cal command is not executed. Why? Because we given the wrong path. Can I say exec is failed here? Will you agree? Here exec is failed. here the exec gets failed. Now instead of this, if I use execlp, I don't know the path, so cal, second is also cal, and third you need to pass null. Now observe, see, so if you know the path, then use execl. If you don't want to take any risk where the path, then use execlp. I hope with these examples you got execl and execlp. If you want to create our own, then we have to use, you need to update the path, or you can use the path here better. One of your friend question is, suppose sir I created one executable file. One option is you can copy your executable file in one of these paths in a /usr bin. I don't know you observed or not. When I'm talking about a command line arguments, I might have shown you how to copy into the usr bin directory. One option. Second option is, if that path is not in those paths, you can use this one, first one. Third option is there, if you know shell scripting and all other things, you can update the path variable also. Though so many paths are there, right? So you can update it that also. So many path variables with separator. What is the separator there? Colon. So there is one method to update the path also. That also you can do. Observe here. Examples are there. All these examples are there. You can check it out here. execl /bin/ls ls-a-l-a null. execlp, no need to supply the path. Observe execv. Can you tell me what is the arg here? What is the arg? Is it an array or is it a pointer? What is the arg there? Is it an array or is it a pointer? Please try to recollect the C concept. Can I say it is an array of pointers? Will you agree? It is an array of 1, 2, 3, 4 pointers. Can anybody imagine background how this arrangement is done? Can I say array of 4 pointers? One pointer is pointing to /bin/ls. Another pointer is pointing to ls. Another pointer is pointing to a. Another is a null pointer. Another is a null pointer. Suppose this is the 1000, this is the 100, this is a 200, this is a 300. Now tell me, in a execv you are passing what? First argument. In execv you are passing first argument. Is it 1000 or 100? In execv you are passing the first argument. Is 1000 or 100? Answer is it is 100. Second argument, what we are passing? First argument we are passing the 100. Second argument, what we are passing? We are passing the 1000. The 1000 is nothing but an array of pointers base address. 1000 is nothing but array of pointers base address. 1000 is nothing but array of pointers base address. So this is another way you can execute the shell commands. You can arrange them in the form of an array of pointers. Now my question is, one exec I can use to execute only one command. You cannot execute multiple commands here. Again, one exec I can use to execute only one command. I cannot execute multiple commands using one exec function call. We cannot execute multiple commands using one exec. Now tell me, if you want to execute multiple commands, what we need to do? If you want to execute multiple commands, what we need to do? Answer is very simple. We need to call exec multiple times. We need to call exec multiple times. Will you agree? We need to call exec multiple times. Huh? All of you are getting this point? One interesting fact, one interesting point I need to tell you now. One interesting point I need to tell you now. Observe. Header.h void main system ls system cal. All of you copy these two lines of code. System ls system cal. Here, how many processes involvement is there? Here, how many processes involvement is there? So one a dot out. Because of the system ls, sh and ls. Because of another system cal, sh cal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, excluding the bash, 5 processes involvement is there. Excluding the bash, 5 processes involvement is there. Please tell me yes or no. Excluding the bash, 5 processes involvement is there. And can you tell me how many commands are gets executed here? Can you tell me how many commands are gets executed here? 2 commands. What are those? 2 commands. What are those? ls and cal. 2 tasks are performed. ls and cal. My question is these 2 commands are executed concurrently or sequentially? My question is, these 2 commands are executed concurrently or sequentially? Answer is sequentially. All of you copied this portion, the diagram as well as the program. All of you copied this portion. Type C in the chat box. Please try to copy. Beside the program, the diagram try to copy. Beside that program, try to copy the diagram. Once copying is done, type C. Now tell me, if I don't want to execute these 2 commands sequentially, I want to execute concurrently, what is the solution you suggest? I want ls and cal should execute concurrently. Can you tell me what is the solution you suggest? Concurrently, can I say two processes? It's not exec, lp and all other things, two processes. Now observe, now can I write it here? In this case, 5 processes and commands are executed sequentially. 5 processes, commands are executed sequentially. Now what I will do is, observe, next you need to copy void main if fork double equals to 0, else if fork double equals to 0, else, all of you copy this, system ls system cal. Now you need to diagrammatically try to represent how many processes and how many commands are those commands are sequential or concurrent. Now tell me, after compiling this program, when I load this program into the RAM, it becomes a process Y. Because of the fork, process Y is creating the Y plus 1 child. In the child, you are calling the system ls. In a child, you are calling the system ls. Can I say sh and ls? In a parent, you are calling system cal sh and cal. Can you tell me how many commands, how many processes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 processes. All of you are copying these diagrams. 6 processes and 2 commands. 6 processes and 2 commands. Will you agree? 6 processes and 2 commands. Will you agree this statement? Will you accept this statement? And those 2 commands are sequential or concurrent? 6 processes, 2 commands. Are those commands are sequential or concurrent execution? Answer is concurrent execution. 6 processes, 2 commands. Those commands are concurrent. 6 processes, 2 commands. Those commands are concurrent. If you agree with this statement, if you understood this statement, type 3 in the if you understood this statement, if you agree with this statement, type 3 in the chat box. Okay. Now, can I write this in a commented way? Here, in this case, 6 processes and 2 commands are executed. concurrent. Now very interesting point I am going to derive now. I am going to tell you now. Now tell me, void main execlp ls null execlp cal null. Now tell me, after compiling this program, after loading this program, how many processes are created and how many commands are gets executed? How many processes are created and how many commands are gets executed? Again, only one process and only one command. The second execlp will not execute. Why? After compiling this program, when I load this program into the RAM, this becomes a.out. In this a.out, we are using execlp. On the top of this a.out, ls image is pasted. So can I say this cal command is not executed? de9 d3 de9 a3, getting the point? This second execl will never execute, because if the first execlp is success, this one will not execute, overwrites. All of you are getting this point? So a3 de9 a3, getting the point? So here only one command and one process. Cal command is not going to execute. Now can I write the statement here? In this case, one command and one process. One process and one command. One process and one command. Now I'll comment it now. I'll write the main what I want to tell you, that program I'll write it now. Observe, void main if fork double equals to 0, if fork double equals to 0, who will execute the body of the if? Who will execute the body of the if? Child process. Will you agree? Who will execute the body of the if? Child process. Now here if I use execlp ls null, in a parent process execlp cal now can you tell me here overall how many processes are created, how many commands are executed? Here how many processes are created and how many commands are gets executed? How many processes are created, how many commands are gets executed? de9 d3, absolutely correct. Here two processes and two commands. Here two processes and two commands. Now can you tell me, on the top of parent process, which command image is pasted? Which executable file is pasted on the top of the parent? Cal. On the top of the child process, which image is pasted? On the top of the child process, which image is pasted? ls. Parent and child relations are not affected here. The parent and child relations are not affected, but in the parent process, cal command image is pasted. In a child process, ls command image is pasted. Now, will you agree here two processes, two commands? In the line number 23 onwards code, one process, one command. Here, 6 processes, 2 commands. Try to compare, try to understand. In this case, 6 processes, 2 commands. But in this case, 2 processes, 2 commands, and also both are concurrent. Now, which one you suggest? Which one you suggest? 6 processes, 2 commands, will you prefer? Or 2 processes, 2 commands, will you prefer? Will you agree? 2 processes, 2 commands. Number of processes creation is less. You are making a less burden to the process manager. You are making a less burden to the process manager. Is it clear? So, what is the conclusion of this discussion is, whenever you want to execute multiple commands concurrently, create multiple processes. Again, what is the conclusion of today's discussion is, if you want to execute multiple commands concurrently, create multiple processes. In each process, try to use system or exec. In each process, try to use system function or exec, so that number of processes is equals to number of commands. Number of processes is equals to number of commands. In one process, if you call 2 times exec, is the second exec will execute or not? In one process, if you call 2 times exec, is the second exec will execute or not? No. Is it clear? If you want to make number of processes is equals to number of commands too, so that you can. Now, I'll show you one interesting fact about the bash. I don't know how many of you know it. ls, cal, pwd. Observe. If you want to execute multiple commands, ls, semicolon, cal, semicolon, pwd. ls is executed, cal is executed, pwd is executed. All of you are observing this point. If you want to execute multiple commands, this is the way on the command prompt. Now, can you imagine when you supply this string to the bash, what the bash might have done? Can you imagine as a programmer, when you supply this command to the bash, multiple commands to the bash, what the bash might have done? Very simple. Bash created a 3 child processes. In that child, exec it will call. It will create a 3 child processes. In that child, exec it will call. I hope you are getting the little bit idea about the bash, what it is doing inside. When I started with the discussion of operating system, I told you bash is a shell. Shell is an application. It will take the command from you to give you the OS to execute. I don't know you remembered or not. At the beginning stages of process management, I told you bash is a shell. Shell is an application. It will take the command. It will give it to the OS. Now I hope you got little bit clarity. Bash internally creates one child process. In that child process, it will call exec function. Means indirectly, in a simple way, if you say, it is giving to the OS, but actually it is creating a child, and the child is calling the exec. doubt about this exec family of functions? Advantage of about is it clear what is the advantage of exec than the system function? So if you use exec family of functions, advantage is number of processes creation can be reduced. If you use exec family of function, the advantage is number of processes creation gets reduced. Is it clear? If it is clear, type C in the chat box. This is about the exec family of functions. Now you tell me, if you supply the command without a path, where the bash will search? If you supply the command without a path, where the bash will search? Answer is in all the path variable, in all that path environmental variable. If you supply the command with path, where it will search? If you supply the command with path, where it will search? It will search only in that path. It will not search anywhere else. That is the reason from the day one onwards, for execute our code, we are writing ./a.out. Again, from the day one onwards, to execute our code, we are writing ./a.out because that command is not present in the predefined paths. Getting the point? That executable file is not present in the predefined path. That is the reason we are supplying the ./a.out. So this is about the today's session about exec family of functions. This document I will share it in the LMS. And apart from that, tomorrow we need to talk about process and CPU scheduling. In a tomorrow session, once again, we need to revise PCB, context switching, states of a process, CPU schedulers. Sir, please upload yesterday's class PPT. Which PPT? S10 weight system call PPT. Is it? I think it is already uploaded. Is it not? The day before yesterday only I might have uploaded. Please cross check. If not, please send me the mail. I'll upload it. Tomorrow session we need to talk about Friday lab is closed. Again we need to talk about turnaround time, wait time, response time. Again we need to talk about tomorrow session. We need to talk about preemptive and non-preemptive scheduling policies. And we need to talk about, all of you are observing, FIFO based scheduling policy, round robin based scheduling policy, SJF policy, priority based scheduling policy. These things in a tomorrow session we need to discuss it. Tomorrow the entire session is a theoretical concept. Is it clear? Tomorrow entire session is a theoretical concepts. Thank you very much. I'm going to wind up the today's session. Thank you very much. I'm going to wind up the today's session.